Fire it up, y'all. Give me just a moment to get the word out, and then we will get this kicked off. Also, I should have did a mic check just before, but yep, it's working. Never mind that. Let me bop it over on both Twitter and Spoutable. Welcome to the Bonnet Chronicles, y'all. I'm your host, Kalari GXC, and you know how we get this done. We get started whether the chat fires up or not. Sometimes it fills, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep talking. I just wanted to announce that, as you can see, clear as day, I have returned to my Twitter. I know some of you will go, Cal, why? The last almost 2 years you have been anti-Twitter. And yeah, I still kind of am from time to time. I'm not anti the friends that I've made because, as you can see, I've been on Twitter for over 10 years. I started in 2010, back when you could customize your whole timeline with pictures and stuff. So when I say I'm a Twitter vet, basically, that's it. I've been on Twitter for a long, long time. And when the apartheid edgelord bought it out, shit went down, and I decided, nah, there were better places like the place I normally hang out on. Let me bop this down just a moment. Spoutable. Spoutable is my personal social media hub. I think it's a better place for me to really share opinions, stuff with my family and stuff. I don't have to worry about all the drama and all the other stuff that I used to have to deal with on Twitter. But I am back because VP Harris is running for president, as you know. One of the things signing up to volunteer for a campaign is social media influence. Hey, Pix, it's good to see you, honey. And the reason social media influence is so important is because, unlike previous campaigns, even President Biden and President Obama's, even the serial tweeters campaign, all politicians are starting to realize that you have to have a digital footprint. You have to make your mark. That's why Kamala has been on TikTok. She's had a strong Twitter game. We're trying to get her over to Spoutable. And I don't just say that because I'm an investor. It is a better, more peaceful social media for me. But I couldn't ignore the fact that on Twitter, I do still have a significant following. I was at 30K. People realized she ain't tweeting no more, and I locked down my account for anybody who wasn't following. And some decided they didn't want to follow no more. They didn't know if I was coming back ever. But when I say the reception I got to coming back on Twitter touched me. Because I made a post at first, and then I said, no, you know what? I'm known for my shorts on here. Whether I'm in my bonnet or off my bonnet, I am known for getting in front of the camera, calling somebody out, or making announcements. And I announced that I was coming back. And when I say the outpouring of love and support and just, I'm glad to see you back, it was nice. And like I said, this is for political purposes, but I'll wade in the girl world if I need to. I got some DMs earlier that I'm going to address tomorrow on YouTube directly where I cover girl world stuff. And I know that I can't keep the two worlds from colliding, but I'm going to say it like this. My opinions on politics aren't going to change just because you don't like it and you watch me to call out Chantel and other locales. This is who I am. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I had always planned to grow my channel slowly. I had always planned to keep people who like me no matter how I come off. And if they don't, fine. Thanks for the views. But I am not making anybody keep a sub to somebody they don't politically agree with. One of the things we're going to talk about tonight is how I refuse to not have political conversations anymore. This is beyond the difference of opinion, y'all. This is literally us fighting for our democracy against theocratic fascism. So if you're not down with that, if it gets you the vapors, if it makes you uncomfortable because you have been programmed for years to just not talk about it, because you don't think that you should be as politically invested as some of us who know we are in danger, we are on the chopping block because of our orientation, our identities, our ethnicities, that's fine. But I'm not going to play those games no more. I am here, and I've been here on my Twitch to talk about politics. I cannot back down because we have a lot on the line. But we are going to open up with something that's a little bit more serious. I hate having the duties, and it's been a few weeks since I've had to. Since that Orlando airman, or Florida airman, I'm not sure if it was Orlando, got killed in his apartment literally just being on the phone with his girlfriend. Somebody called the police saying there was an argument, and he got shot and killed. So it's been a few weeks since I had to cover that Air Force sergeant's murder. And then tonight, as I was going through my news feeds, this came up. And thank you so much, Pete. It must be a luxury. And too many people indulge in that luxury, don't realizing that there are a lot of us who are politically invested because we don't have a choice. We're not going to play these games with those people. You can stay on the neutral side if you want, but I'm going to fight hard because I know what's at stake. But this first article came on my news feed, and it's just another in a long list of people who died to something they shouldn't. Citizens who are treated less than by our police. And I know not every cop is bad. Like I said, police family, just like firefighter family. I have civil servant family members. So when I come out against shit like this, I am not taking a hardline stance against cops, even though I went from growing up trusting cops, believing they were people that I could go to if I'm in trouble, to now feeling tense and scared of people who literally wear badges that say protect and serve. And that is not right. As a U.S. citizen, as a taxpayer citizen, no one should have to feel like that. And unfortunately, Sonya Massey, who died from a gunshot wound to the head, is just another name that we have to add to the large tapestry of names of people who were killed by police brutality. And it's not right. The autopsy confirmed that she died of a gunshot wound, which is like, no duh. But let me tab down here to give you a quick recap of what happened. Springfield, Illinois' autopsy findings said released Friday, said Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, was fatally shot in her Illinois home by a now fired sheriff's deputy charged in her death. Confirmed she died of a gunshot wound to the head. The report was reached shortly after civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who was representing Massey's family, denounced the killing by ex-sheriff deputy Sean Grayson as senseless, unnecessary, and excessive. She had several injuries, including blunt force trauma and injuries to her right leg. Grayson, who is a white officer, pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, aggravated battery with firearms, and official misconduct charges in Massey's killing. He was fired last week by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office in Illinois and has been jailed without bond. And this is some of Miss Massey's family with attorney Ben Crump. This is sad. Trump had his third news conference this week since the body camera video was released on Monday, showing an enlarged diagram from the autopsy that showed the bullet exited on her lower neck in a downward trajectory. That, he said, emphasizes the physical mismatch between Massey and the much larger Grayson, who fired on her because he said he felt threatened by a pan of hot water she was moving from her stove. A pan of hot water. Cops are supposed to be trained to defuse tense situations. Instead, they fire first because they still view us as animals. Grayson, 6'3". Holy shit, he's tall. My dude is 6 foot and towers. So I can't imagine. 6'3", big for no reason. 228 pounds. The 6'3" is 191 centimeters and 103 kilograms for those of you who use metrics. The autopsy lists Massey at 5'4", just an inch taller than me, 163 centimeters, and 112 pounds, 51 kilograms. Prosecutors added that the distance between the shooter and the victim and the counter between them gave Grayson distance and relative cover from any hot water that may have been flung his way. Welcome, Respect. It's good to see you, hon. It's been a while, I know. Authorities said Massey had called 911 to support a suspected prowler. So she wasn't even calling them for a welfare check or because she was feeling a certain way mental health wise. She thought somebody was breaking in. The cops responded, and it don't matter. Cops responded, and apparently when he tried to get in and when they entered the place, they were hostile. Miss Massey was moving a pot of hot water, and I'm not sure if she threatened them. They had the footage. Oh, here's the footage. I really don't want to see her get shot, so no. Sorry, y'all. Basically, she explained she thought somebody was breaking in. This guy who was fucking towering over her decided that she was a threat because of hot water and shot her. When is it going to end? When is it going to stop being a life or death situation if we need to involve police? Law enforcement is supposed to be there for us as well. Sonya Massey should still be here along with so many others. And I will be shocked if he even sees time. Or if he does, it'll be a light sentence like George Floyd's murderer. Like one of Elijah McClain's murderer, because the other one got off. It is a mess. And it's one that keeps on going, and we have to stop it. It is ridiculous. Well, we can't even call the cops because we hear somebody trying to break in without our lives being in danger. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to have actual police reform to train, to send people who understand what diffusing a situation is, to send social workers when it involves something with children or mentally ill, and to stop allowing police to be judge, jury, executioner because that is not their job. We need to be a better functioning system where police are trained and respected again instead of being feared. And it will end when money starts. Exactly. We need to take from their pensions whenever a civil suit happens. Because you know the family is going to win a civil suit. There was absolutely no reason for him to fire on her like he did. But it's sad. It keeps going on and over, and it's frustrating. But we'll move on to some more politics, because I'm not staying off the necks of Project 2025. And we found out that one of the architects has some really fucked up leans. And I'm sure none of us are surprised. But of course, organized faith, religious fundamentalists, in every sector are trying. They're all vying to carve up our world and create chaos. I don't like fundies. I don't care if they're fundamental Christians. I don't care if they're fundamental Jewish. I don't care if they're fundamental Muslims. Fundamentalism is at the heart of controlling our society in a toxic way, and I always call it out. And unfortunately for us, one of the architects for Project 2025 has fundamental Catholic leans. And Catholics, to me, especially since I have Catholic family members, are just an offshoot, or I guess Christianity was an offshoot of it. They're two sides of the same coin, normally on the books, but their fundies are so much alike that it's scary. And exactly, people in this former administration do need to help right there, but it's crazy, the ties. Heritage Fund, all of the businesses that a group of hacker furries found out. It's sad how many people have helped try to usher us into this fascism. But this guy, Kevin Roberts, has ties to the Catholic group Opus Dei, or Dei, as they call themselves. And why does that matter? Because these fundamental groups want to usher us into religious totalitarianism, where you cannot question their stuff. And this Guardian article broke it down. It's a center in Washington, D.C., a hub of activity for radical and secretive Catholics. Robert acknowledged in a speech last September that for years he has visited the Catholic Information Center, a K Street institution headed by Opus Dei priests and incorporated by the Archdiocese of Washington on a weekly basis for mass and formation or religious guidance. Opus Dei also organizes monthly retreats at the CIC. It's a Catholic institute. In the speech, which he delivered at the CIC and was recorded and is available online, Roberts spoke candidly about his strategy for achieving extreme policy goals that he supports but are out of step with the view of the majority of Americans. So he knows his fuckery isn't going to fly with us, but these hardliners want us to just fall into place or be killed off, point blank. Yes, white nationalism, Catholicism, it all ties hand in hand to use the Bible in a way to crush people who oppose, who don't look like them, act like them, worship like them. It's a mess, y'all. He wants to outlaw birth control. That's the hardest political battle, he says, for conservatives in the future. The 50-year-old political strategist said, a Gen Xer. You would think he would know better, but there was a lot of Gen Xers of a certain demographic who showed us. They went from listening to Public Enemy and fighting the power with us to literally doing shit like this. It's sickening. It is pics. It's disgusting. They will worship and exactly support the guy. Trump is literally the guide to the 7 deadly sins. But, as long as he can get us what we want, restricting women's rights, telling anybody who's othered that you're othered and we can dehumanize you, we're all for it. It's crazy. He said that he urged conservatives to pursue small legislative victories, which is why I told you every election matters, from the school board to the comp controller to the House of Representatives and the Senate. We need to be politically invested. But too many people don't want to do that. I don't care about politics. It don't matter anyway. What could go wrong? As these people worm their way into our systems, ban books, make it harder for people to just live and thrive and grow. They only want the American dream for themselves and a nightmare for the rest of us. He said, radical incrementalism, freedom of speech for those of us who don't look like them, women's freedom of choice, the LGBT's allowance to get married, the freedom of gender identity and the ability to transition, whether you're transitioning from female to male or male to female. They don't want that. They get the vapors. Oh my gosh, it rattles their faith for some reason, which says more to me about their lack of true faith, but I digress. To advance their most right-wing policy objective. Y'all know I've been on the next to that Project 2025 bullcrap because I don't like it and I'm not going to pretend like I like it. And what's the whole game for Project 2025 besides restricting our rights? It really is to put our nation under a Christian banner. These are the same people that will side-eye Muslim-led nations, Hindu-led nations, Sikh or Jewish-led nations for being too different, too radical. But they have always envied having the country under one religious banner and don't realize that they cannot do that here in America. Because America is a literal melting pot of different faiths and people who choose not to worship anything. And that is what makes our country the freaking beautiful tapestry it is and could continue to be. But they don't want that. They want a dynasty of just disaster for any of us that don't fall in the line. And this is why we have to fight. Project 2025 is a foundation plan backed by more than 100 conservative groups that seek to radically upend a broad range of policies if Trump or any other conservative, because it's not just Trump, they'll wait. They'll play the long game if we slip up, gets elected. From limiting abortion access to LGBTQ rights and dismantling the Department of Justice, education, and civil rights measures. They are going after all of us because they want their perch at the top of the social hierarchy. And they feel threatened by diversity and inclusivity. That's why they use terms like DEI for President Harris, which we just need to mop. Because they're letting their bigotry flag fly, saying that diversity and equality, inclusivity hires are a bad thing. Let that sink in. This is all they got now. Now they say that black women who want to support VP Harris are racist. But we can't flip that script and say you support an Agent Orange is racist. We're not fighting with smart people. That's why it was fun for me to go back on Twitter, because I already had Stefford Reif try me with lies about VP Harris's record, which we can counter. With lies about how she's more open to white women than black women when she's literally a part of the Divine Nine, a sorority of HBCU sister girls, all black women. I don't know what to tell these people when they try to argue with us. But their whole thing is we're seeking to enter a battle against the enemies of Christ. These are the same people who will read the Bible, say they're Christ-like, say that they are about Jesus, who is love thy neighbor, love all men and women, shockingly. But they want to declare enemies. They want to fight. These evangelicals are scary, and they want total power and control, and that is what we are up against in these upcoming elections, not just in November, any special election, because it's like they said, they want those small victories so they can worm their way throughout the system and rot it from the inside, and we cannot allow that. Hey, aggravated proctologist, exactly. I'm not gonna I clown on people on Twitter. It was like riding a bicycle, going back and making fun of them. I am not going to give away the plot. We are organizing. We are using our social media as we have been suggested by the campaign. As long as I don't go too far, I think I'll be fine. But I don't mind clapping back to their fiction. It's fun for me. And when I have the time to do it, I'm definitely going to do it. But we're going to move on to this nonsense. Because Youngkin in Virginia, who I brought up last week, appointed 2 more people. And this is why I said it all matters who you vote in. We have governors committing fuckery right now. He has Justice Scalia's daughter as an appointment to his school board because he's looking to wipe out all the norms for Virginia's school board and then enact Christian-based knowledge, disrespecting the various people that live in Virginia right now. And Justice Scalia already has problems with his Catholic wife, who has a problem with LGBTQ, who flew that ridiculous flag, and who is on record, on tape, saying that she considers anybody not like them her enemy. Y'all, when I say that Youngkin is problematic, along with Ives, along with Reeves, along with Abbott, along with DeSantis, they are trying to upend our norms to just initiate these awful policies that will fuck up our school systems. DeSantis is already fucking up the banks with his wanna be anti-woke nonsense. It is ridiculous that we don't fight harder against this stuff. Let's see what this says, because I'm not going to read the whole article from the Washington Post, but the fact that Justice Scalia's daughter can be appointed to this when their family has very problematic ties, when this justice himself has very problematic leans, including trying to give presidential immunity, it's a mess. Oh my goodness. Okay. For some reason, they want this person because she has a degree in psychology. Let's see. Outlaw McPherson, the attorney. Oh, man. And Bryce, who I believe is Scalia's daughter. Normally, I don't catch the vapors on these appointees, but Youngkin has made it clear that his goal is to redo education where kids have to swear allegiance to God, even if it's not the God they normally worship, and teaching Christian-based learning, even if they're non-Christian. We do not need that in public schools. That's why we have parochial schools. That's why we have parents with the ability to have vouchers to put their kids in certain schools, or to homeschool them, or to put them in cyber schools that have that. To make public schools do this goes against our Constitution, but some of these governors don't care. They will swear up and down that they're all for the Constitution, freedoms, and liberty, all the while restricting such. And we cannot let them. Exactly, respect. That's perfect. They do want to teach the 1776 doctrine. You know 1776, where our nation was in battle trying to get away from a monarchy, where certain people were kicked off their lands, put into reservations. I have ancestral ties to them. Others who were forcefully implanted from their continent and countries to work for free and not be considered humans, also my ancestries. Well, how about some of the immigrant ancestries we have that are Southeast Asian that came over here only to be mocked pretty much giving slave wages, and then on top of that, interred during World War II. America, you do not have a good history with this shit. And we need to stop elected officials that don't have a problem with this shit, who think teaching this history is us attacking their whiteness. It is beyond ridiculous. But then to add to the absurdities, Trump's campaign is not doing that well, y'all. JD Vance is a whole ass mess, and I really do feel like when Trump loses in November, because I'm speaking that to the cosmos, he's going to blame this idiot. Because, of course, he has been on a full frontal attack against women. Everything from going on the record, there's sound clips all over the place, and him saying that women should be stopped at borders when they cross state lines to make sure they're not getting abortions. Totalitarianism. It's scary. But he made a childless cat lady's remark, which was utterly ridiculous. As a cat mom myself, who happens to also be a human mom, it doesn't make sense to me why he's so angry at people with vaginas. What is JD Vance's problem with women who own cats? Why does it bother him so much that we vote? Oh, is it because we're politically aware and can love our feline babies? Or is it just a entry-level misogyny that ingratiated him to 45? And it's not the only thing that Vance has done. We're going to do a little interlude for a laugh. Let me get this up for a moment here, y'all, and transition it over. Because we got a lot to talk about with the one pick. But I really want to bring this up. Like, yep, there we go. Interact with that, bop it over.
Hey there, folks. I wanted to hit the airwaves tonight with
a message to JD Vance by Dark Brandon
special
here.
Cat
Our president is not going to have
everyone
any of
else
your
could stop the
malarkey. Give me just a moment because the sound is out for some reason. There we go. Restart it and play it again.
Hey there, folks. I wanted to hit the airwaves tonight with a message for those very special cat ladies out there. Everyone else, you could stop the
microphone
now. All right, ladies, now that we're alone, I know there's some candidates out there that aren't showing you the respect and love that you deserve. There's some candidates out there that don't have any DBE, Dark Brandon energy.
Exactly.
And I just want you to know that.
He does.
You know you're working a long, hard day.
I like Dark Brandon.
I just want to rub your feet.
This is Dark Brandon.
I want to listen to you about your day.
And they got another funny one that I'm going to close out with. They are an animator that after the Dark Brandon stuff started on Twitter 2 years ago, created their channel, and they do a lot of funny cartoons. Beans recommended them to me, and I have been watching them since, and I love it. And this is President Biden talking to all the cat ladies that JD Vance insulted.
Okay. And of course, I'm going to play with the cats. So cat ladies, as election day approaches, you know what to do. You gotta vote blue.
I love me some Dark Brandon. That was a good interlude before we bring it back to the fuckery. Because the Trump family ain't doing too well. I don't know if they're sweating because they realize that dad made a bad choice with JD Vance. But Junior here is just, he's on something. And I have this young man, Adam Mockler, who I do remember from Twitter. I'm not sure if we got back and forth into it because of his former and probably still supported Bernie or not. But I can respect that he understands what's going on with our democracy. So I'm going to highlight his channel right now and show you the clip that he got from Ron Filowski. I can't say anything but the man's been tweaking. Junior has full on tweaked. And I don't get it. But here we go.
Like, there's some of them are like, we don't even want white women. Like, it doesn't, like, we need to check like 3 or 4 boxes so you can end up in like if you're like, a trans communist, this, that.
There's some rumors going around about Don Jr., some rumors that have been going around for a while that are only being reinforced by his behavior in these recent videos that have gone incredibly viral.
Exactly. Not to interrupt him, but the man is like amped up, and sweating like a pastor who knows he did something bad in a freaking church revival tent in August. There is no reason to be this amped up. And talking about the Dems have a checkbox of trans, communists, only black women. This is the shit they're telling themselves. I know, I watched yesterday. I couldn't get into the Zoom call. Over 100,000 white women who are fed up with the fuckery, raising over $1 million for VP Harris's campaign. But do tell that it's only trans, communist, black women, whatever manifesto bullshit you want to throw our way. Whatever helps you sleep at night, Don Jr. and other conservatives. All the lies ain't going to help you in November.
Jr. is acting like a kid who isn't allowed to have sugar often, but his mom just let him have a pop, and he's sitting there just talking incredibly frantically. That video that we just watched is not sped up, and there's a lot more to break down. Ron Filipkowski said Jr. was absolutely out of his mind tonight interviewing JD Vance. I did not speed this up. And Donald Trump Jr. rambles and rants about trans communists. He is fast, speed talking. Soul Nate on Twitter said, "This is the cocainiest a man has ever been." And I'm not going to draw any conclusions, but hey, I'm just asking questions. Before we break down the rest of this video, I want to show you how terrible of a human being Don Jr. is. He always posts these memes on Instagram, and they are consistently
racist, misogynistic, homophobic, just an all-around bigot. But they are so jealous of First Lady Michelle Obama. Yet that was the first name the conservatives tried to float around as who might run, when she has made it clear she is not interested in politics in that way. You always have to go for the lows, but get mad when we say millennials needs a new chip because she's seeming kind of robotic. She's gonna write a book though, y'all. It'll end up on the bin next to Jared's book, so it doesn't matter. The fact that they go this low, yet get mad when we point out the obvious Coke monster in the room is hilarious to me.
Racist or a sexist or a transphobic or all three sometimes, like this one
that
says, I found this rare Michelle Obama rookie card, and there is this long-standing conservative conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is actually a transgender woman when she's
not that it would matter if she was, but the fact that she literally gave birth to two beautiful daughters kind of nips that dumbass argument in the bud. But this is all they have. They don't care about facts. They are literally lactose intolerant. And it's this juvenile antics that makes me side-eye anybody that can side with this. Michelle Obama is living her best life. They are out of the Oval Office now. Perhaps Barack Obama still advises from time to time, but Michelle is out there living her best life, doing her thing, yet they can't let it go. Maybe it's because there's no nudes of her online like 45's wife. I'm just saying.
Absolutely not. And this is just a transphobic, sexist, and racist meme. He did it again with this. It says, waking up on Transgender Day of Visibility. It's Tobey Maguire putting on his glasses and Michelle Obama turns into a man. Just absolutely vile stuff.
Because
and this
they
is
are
one of the
vile.
top. This is one of the leading MAGA influencers. These get hundreds of thousands of likes. And I just want...
Yeah, by hundreds of thousands of bots and bigots. Let's not forget, we've been on Twitter for a long time. There are a lot of these conservatives that will literally buy their engagements. And they don't think they hate getting caught. And when they do get caught and nobody's seeing their tweets, oh, I've been shadow banned. No, it's just you didn't pay the bots enough to engage with you anymore.
I want to say that Don Jr. and the MAGA Republicans are constantly projecting, because Don Jr. is the one that's speed talking, acting like he's on drugs. But what do they say? They say that President Biden...
And I noticed that Soul Nate uses John Brown as his icon. I'm just saying, there are a lot of conservatives that think white people aren't over the shit that you're doing, the bigotry, the division, and everything else. They're channeling their own John Browns. They're sick of your shit. You can keep channeling your ancestors, but you're going to be standing alone if you keep it up.
Biden is the one who takes drugs before the debate. They say that Hunter Biden is the one who is constantly on meth, and he did have a problem.
Hunter Biden does have problems. Hunter Biden is solving his own problems and dealing with the legal system. Hunter Biden is also a public figure, but he's not a political figure. He's a private citizen in that regard. So while the conservatives love to use him as a boogeyman, it really makes no sense because Hunter Biden isn't running for anything political. That's the only thing they got. It is so ridiculous.
Problem at one point with drugs, but Don Jr. is the one whose whole political career is going by because he consumes so many drugs. This article reads, Trump's sons keep falsely blaming Democrats for the assassination attempt. Since a 20-year-old gunman opened fire more than a week ago at former President Donald Trump, the FBI has conducted hundreds of interviews only to find that the motive for the attack thus far remains a mystery. He was a registered Republican.
Because they killed him before we could get any answers. And that's why so many of us, and I don't even like indulging in conspiracy theories. I'm like Adam ruins everything with that. It's not a good look. But when I noticed that he got his photo op, which they put on shirts and mugs and sold and still are selling, when they got people chanting fight, fight, fight at the RNC, it feels kind of set up that they would sacrifice a 20-year-old potential incel with nothing to lose to further their cause, to take that shot. And now, per the investigation, even though the member of the Secret Service, the head of the Secret Service, stepped down, they're saying it might not have even been a bullet that hit his ear, but shrapnel. So we're still finding shit out, but we will never have a definitive answer. And as Adam's about to say, the 20-year-old man was a registered Republican. Point blank. He wasn't a Democratic plant like they're trying to run with.
Republican, but as threat assessment experts confirmed, the shooting likely was not driven by partisanship. None of that stopped Trump's sons, Eric and Don Jr., from fanning the flames.
Dumb and dumber.
Speaking on Fox News on Sunday, Eric Trump reiterated the partisan blame leveled by various MAGA supporters without any evidence immediately after the shooting. Quote, I said that
because they're lactose intolerant. You can give them all the evidence. You can have in 4K video of that guy standing with his AR-15 saying, I'm a Republican and I approve this message. And they would still not believe that it wasn't a Democrat plant because they know this is what they would do. This is what they would do if they had the opportunity to. And it's a fucked up scenario. All you need from most MAGA, most Republicans, is this. A mirror. Hold it up at them.
Democrats would stop at absolutely nothing, said Don Jr., but keep in mind, Thomas Matthew Crooks was a registered Republican who was a lifelong Republican. This brings us back to this video of Don Jr. acting absolutely wild. Remember, Soul Nate said this is the cocainiest a man has ever been. Just notice how frantic Don Jr. is, how quickly he is talking. Don Jr., his father, Donald Trump, and the entire Trump campaign have been scrambling over the past few days trying to find an effective way to attack VP Harris, and they just can't do it. They can't do it effectively, and that leads to this.
Like, there's some of them are like, we don't even want white women. Like, it doesn't, like, we need to check, like, 3 or 4 boxes so you can end up with, like,
more than, to interrupt the rambling cocaine bear, more than likely it was shrapnel, because if it had been a bullet, from everything I know from shooting stuff, I think it would took his ear off, especially from a high-powered rifle. But, you know, we'll know, because they're investigating and they will give a definitive answer. And of course, the MAGA won't believe it because they still think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will send out assassins, which is not their job and not what they would do at all.
Like, you know, a trans communist, this, that, and the other. Like, you too can be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company with no experience whatsoever.
Exactly.
He's actually spent real time with them. Like, and he's sort of, I would say,
it feels like that one time I wanted to get out of class, and this was back in junior high, so I can't get in trouble for it. And I just didn't want to do the work. I was bored. I wanted to get out of class, so we had one of those blood capsules. You could pop it in, take a bite, and feel like you're bleeding. I felt bad because I scared the teacher at the time, because they had never seen blood come out of somebody's mouth like that, but they got out of class for that day. It's the one and only time I ever acted like that. I'm normally a good student, but I just wanted out, and I pretended like I was bleeding, and it got me out of there. It was funny. I just feel like it all just felt a little bit too set up for me. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
the blue-collar billionaire, and 15 years ago when I said it, people used to shit all over me, like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand, and now they understand what the borders are.
Your dad's not a blue-collar billionaire. Fuck, he just had to pay Jeannie Carroll $91 million. I'm sure he's hurting. And he still owes Deutsche Bank, along with other creditors. That's why he wants to be president again. He wants to get out of his debts.
Wrote the article. It wasn't even like it was the same publication. It was the same journalist.
Look how sweaty he is. Look how frantically
like
he's speaking. Look at his hand movements. His hand movements are wild. I'm a person that uses a lot of hand movements, but I'm never waving them around so rapidly that it looks like I'm the Flash, like speeding through stuff.
I'm like, this you? Like, to literally save democracy.
What is that? It's like a mini Trump. These are like Trump hand movements.
It's literally at risk, JD.
I will defend that. As a New Yorker, a lot of us talk with our hands, but we don't. It's manic with them. But I do like to talk with my hands. It's a New York thing. I will say that. Even though his ass has been in New York for a while, and I don't even think he was born there. I'm not sure. I think he's the child of wife number one, Ivanka, the one that they ended up, Ivana. I don't remember her. I know they buried her in Mar-a-Lago, and I'm pretty sure our caskets probably have State Department stuff in it. All I know is that the whole family is just Looney Tunes. Exactly. We don't do the accordion, but we do talk with our hands.
Meaning, Barack Obama, the Clintons, a couple billionaire donors be like, okay, this isn't working. We're going to take everything we gave you. We didn't give you any other options. We threw, RFK off the ticket.
Yep.
We basically tried to push anyone out.
RFK never had a fucking chance. That guy was a fucking psycho lunatic. I don't care about his Hollywood wife. I might like some of the stuff she starred in, but I wasn't fucking with that. Just because they're Kennedy, that dynasty, for all intents and purposes, is over. I like a few Kennedys that are in politics, but I do not see them reliving, capturing that magic of JFK or RFK. And both of those men paid with their lives for trying to unify our country. This dude is not who we're going to rally behind with his anti-Semitism, calling the COVID vaccine his Holocaust. With all of his doubling down on dumb theories and just anti-vax nonsense. No, he didn't have a shot. So stop it, Junior. What is it about the juniors and these families?
Else from are happening. So we gave you your only choice. You actually then chose that person, and now America is not there.
There's more to this video. This kind of slipped by, but at the beginning he said something about trans communists running Fortune 500 companies. I don't even know what this man is talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He uses these
Was that a dig at RuPaul because Kamala Harris was on Drag Race? Because RuPaul is rich and successful, but I don't think she hit the billions yet. Either way, this is their nightmare. This is their boogeyman. This is their sleep paralysis demon. And it's sad for them.
Accurate talking points because he has a childlike understanding of politics. Everybody watching this video, if you're watching this video and you're engaged in politics, you follow my channel, you know more about American politics than Donald Trump Jr. Again, he has a kindergartner's understanding of foreign policy, of domestic policy. Leave a like on the video if you agree with that. Let's keep watching.
Now they're pretending, no, she's a moderate. They did the same thing with Joe Biden. He's going to be so moderate. He's so moderate. Look, he's moderate.
Yeah. And he was, because he, like a senator, knows how to work across the board. He was able to help both Speaker Johnson and McConnell with their troubles. Because in politics, it shouldn't be a fucking football match. It should be men and women representing their constituents for the betterment of our country. Not creating divides, but creating unification. So that we can be a better, more prosperous country. But they don't want that. They want to rule. And they want a dynasty. And I'm sorry, we left the monarchy centuries ago because we didn't want that.
Policies were not, I hate to say it, but literally, but it's like me, a couple other people that we're friends with that are like, hey guys,
and no, I will not use
but you're not going to get that. Honestly, you may not get that on.
We all have that friend that just talks way too much and kind of gets up in your face and is always super sweaty and rambly. I mean, I knew those people in high school. They would always just be ranting, and you're like, chill out.
I don't know.
Look you can tell JD Vance is so sick of it. Look at the look on JD Vance's face. He's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, please chill out.
Seems like it should be illegal
I'm reasonably fast. Did you see me?
Okay, that's enough of Adderall, baby. Because we got to keep it pushing. As much as I like Adam's commentary there, it's a bit ridiculous. But we're gonna talk about VP Harris's potential picks before we close it out with some fun Dark Brandon. Because everybody's talking about who they would like to see VP Harris pick as their person. And I'm going to open up with this picture that our media tried to float a few months back, because they were trying to not only say Biden was too old for his run this year, which they hammered and hammered, and you got your wish, but you didn't expect Kamala to step up, did you? You thought he was going to take her down with him, did you? But you thought wrong. So this chart here was our media's decision on who, I'm not going to call him Dark Brandon to disrespect the president, but President Biden could replace Kamala Harris with, and they even put her in the picture, because that's how fucking dumb our media is. And these women all have esteemed careers. But the problem with what they wanted to do, let me get this up, this graphic up for me. I don't want to get it confused with the girl world stuff. Open it up. Ooh. That quiche came out so good. I think I'm gonna have another piece for dinner. These media types wanted Stacey Abrams, which they clowned on when she ran for Georgia governor. Congresswoman Baldwin, Congresswoman Bass, Miss Bottoms, who I believe was she was a mayor of a city. Val Demings, who kicks ass and was a congresswoman in Florida, is now one of Joe Biden's picks to head up the postal services. So DeJoy, we got our eyes on you, man. Tammy Duckworth, who I personally put on my top 3 list for people I would like to see her pick. I believe Miss Grisham, Raimondo, Rice, Warren, who, no, you know how I feel about Liz. I'm not going to keep rehashing it. Ever since she went into that barbershop, it was like, what do you do here? I know I'm copying Kamala's style, but, you know, what do you do at this barbershop? I can bring my dog to peaceful protest for George Floyd's murder. It's all good. They need the spotlight. Champagne millionaires, whatever. And Gretchen Whitmer, who is my governor, because I live in the state of Michigan, even though I'm originally from New York, and I've lived around the country. Big Gretch is an amazing governor, and I don't think she has expressed any interest in running for VP. I'm sure she would take it if she was offered. She got a lot to do here in Michigan, and the Michigan GOP has been governing for her so much, they literally tried to organize a militia group to hang her. I literally wanted a tape assassination. So I'm sure Big Gretchen is flattered, but she wasn't offering that. So stop it. Get help. But this is who our media thought, and welcome, honey. If you don't fit in, don't come live in the Mint. Stop it. This is what our media thought they were going to do against VP Harris, which is ridiculous. But if I'm going to speculate, out of all of these women, outside Val Demings, who I would have picked if she wasn't picked for a postal appointment, Tammy Duckworth has been a trooper, a literal hero who gave limbs for our country, and I would love to see that ticket. It would break first. Black, Southeast Asian, and an Asian VP pick would be a historical first, but I know, sadly, our country might not be ready for a double female ticket. I have to be realistic in our strategy. Or I would totally pick Stacey Abrams as well. A fellow geek in the politics? In the Star Trek, yo? Come on now. And like I said, Val Demings kicks ass. She had a bipartisan legislative record that kicked ass in Florida. That's why she was recognized. Miss Bottoms, I like. Don't make mac and cheese though, honey. I remember those Twitter posts where you got clowned on. Some of these other women, I don't know that well, and you know how I feel about Warren. But I'm not sure, strategic-wise, if it would be smart for VP Harris to pick another woman unless she can be shown to be as fearless and as joyful as she is. And for me, out of all of these picks, the top two would be Senator Duckworth and Stacey Abrams. And Stacey Abrams edges out Senator Duckworth just a little bit because we need our Congress as it is, which is why I'm going to bring up these male picks. Let me get this up. This is a bit bigger, y'all. These are the men that I personally have been watching their career trajectory for a while. And now this had their video, which I was going to show, but I'll probably save that, where they're saying the youth vote are wholeheartedly behind Pete Buttigieg. He's not afraid to go on Fox News. He's not afraid to push back against the bigotry that J.D. Vance tried to put on him and his family, and that the conservatives, including that Hydra agent running our House currently, Johnson, tries to put on his family for simply existing as a same-sex couple and adoptive parents. I like Pete Buttigieg. I went from this man ain't ready for prime time and calling him out and fighting with his followers to realizing that he only wants what's best for our country. He has a lovely family, a beautiful partner in Chastain, 2 beautiful kids, has done the damn thing as transportation secretary, including helping Governor Shapiro with the I-95 incident. So he's definitely on the list of possible contenders, even though I do think he is stronger in our cabinet right now. We also have Senator Jon Ossoff, somebody who can be, girl, I was so happy when I seen your name returning to Twitter. I loved your little stories. Georgia Congressman Jon Ossoff, who I love his career trajectory, but he too faces, like Senator Duckworth. Can we afford to lose him in our Senate right now? The answer is no. Along with his partner and pretty much BFF, Senator Ralph Warnock, who beat out the walking CTE patient, the walking cabbage, as I called Herschel Walker, no relation, and cinched the win for Georgia. The problem with taking these two men out of the congressional seat is we are a 50-50 split right now. So while I would love them to be potential picks, it will harm us more than it would do good. We also have Cory Booker, who ran for president in 2019 with a whole cavalry of Dems, along with Beto O'Rourke. Those two have really good ties. Booker from New Jersey has Northeast ties, and within the Black community has had support. Beto O'Rourke has Southeastern ties with Texas. And I actually like Beto. I know some people don't. I like Beto. I'm sorry. He's a geek like me. I can't help it. We also have the Castro brothers, Joaquin and Julian. Both of them have strong Texas ties and could be good choices. But we also have stronger Southeast Asian and Asian picks with Ted Lieu, who I've always liked. I followed him on Twitter for years. And Kai Kahale, I hope I'm not butchering your name, a former congressman who just had his term up in 2023 in Hawaii. Kai is a strong choice, not only for Native Hawaiians and beyond, but he also has Asian ties from South Korea. So it's like I said, this could be a historic ticket with any of these men or women. But what it really needs is for us to get out and vote. That is the most important part of this process. These men or women could be a great VP choice. But if we don't turn out for them, it's not going to matter. All of them have reason for being a good choice. But some of them, like Congressman Jeffries, who I would like to see as our next Speaker of the House, so we need to vote in the next midterm elections and get him more congressmen so that he doesn't have to go 15 times like Kevin McCarthy did, only to get ousted and replaced by Speaker Johnson. We want less chaos from the Muppet Greens and Bobberts, and more work being done because we have work to do, y'all. And it is on us. And I don't care who you think Vice President Harris should pick as her running mate for president, as long as you get out the vote, no matter who she picks, because it's all on the line. We are up against a fascism elephant. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, y'all. I thought I was going to go over, but I'm keeping this pretty tight. Maybe it's because I skipped the now, this, because they really are pushing for Pete Buttigieg, and I would not be mad if they did. But we're going to close out with some more Dark Brandon, because I love their humor. And this is an ode to JD's Vance's first and only love, his couch. I know I ain't right, y'all, but I love it.
When a man loves the couch, just the house cushion.
Copy of that Barry Wright.
You feel the love inside.
Wait, no, what's some show and tell? I'm getting my soul singers mixed up.
Pushing in between.
Hi, Beans, honey, and thank you so much for the resub 27 months. I appreciate you, honey.
Kitty Vance.
Oh my gosh.
For the couch. Kitty Vance.
Trump Wizards, he just sing like those.
Baby, love to the couch. Kitty Vance. That couch. Yeah, Kitty Vance me. Love to the couch.
Wow. Wow. That was Dark Brandon, y'all. The perfect send-off for the night. I'm telling you, I know some people are like, why are you using such absurd things to attack Vance on? Well, that's because we're up against them using lies, racism, misogyny. And the man is literally on record talking about how he had relations with a couch. That's how he got off when he was younger. There's also something floating around about his corn issues with dolphins. So the man just keeps getting weirder and weirder, and I don't like any of it, so I'm sorry, y'all, not sorry. But I'm going to call it out when I see it. When he goes on record attacking women and trying to make it hard for us to just do interstate travel. When he attacks cat moms. When he wants to push for a fascism. I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to have fun with some humorous people like Dark Brandon. But we're going to get ready to wrap this up, y'all. I want to thank you all for sitting in. This will probably be one of the last lives I do in the kitchen setup, even though I like my desk. It'll be now a space for extra cooking and stuff. We are going to be moving into the front office. Probably this weekend. It might be tomorrow. It depends on how I feel, because I still got to get the other computer set up with all my OBS and pictures and stuff. But it was great being here. It was great doing these in the room from time to time. But now that Greg has accepted and got the offer for an on-site position, he's going to be working outside the house again. I got the front office. It'll be where I do my creative projects, where I do these Bonnet Chronicles, my writer vlogs, writing my books and everything else. So it is going to be a fun time, y'all. But when I say I'm back, not just on Twitter or Spoutable, which are my two social media hubs. If you see anybody on TikTok claiming to be me, nope. If you see them reposting my shit, I don't know what to do about that, but it ain't me, y'all. I don't have the time or the patience for TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I am on Twitter, because I ain't fucking calling it X. And I am on Spoutable all the time, all day, every day. If you reach out to me in DMs, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But those are my three mains, along with Twitch. I didn't forget about you, Twitch. But I mean for where I truly interact written-wise with people. So that's it, y'all. I will be back on Tuesday with another Teller Tuesday and on Friday with another Bonnet Chronicles. If you want to watch me call out the heifers on Saturdays, I do a Twitch live, YouTube live. I'm getting all my stuff crossed now. And it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to add more days, but even if I don't do more personal days, because I do a fit bong sometimes twice a week on YouTube as well, you'll catch me on people's panels. I'm an over-opinionated black woman, and I got a lot to talk about, and I thank you all Picks, aggravated proctologist. Respect is given. Love you, girl. Axiom Wolf for watching. All of yous that lurk, I appreciate you all, and I will have this up on YouTube in a little bit. I'm going to go make sure the cats are okay, make sure kiddo's doing all right, and I will see you soon. Have a lovely weekend, y'all.